Hello, my treasures. It's time to see if we can make these Hydras floppy no longer by buffing them up as much as humanly possible and OTKing our opponent in a combination between Bunny Stomper, a Hydra, and always bigger Jormagon. It is worth mentioning any stat buffs that you give the Hydra while it's on the board or in your hand will actually be considered for the doubling of its stats when it does get destroyed. Meaning things like Messenger Buzzard are incredibly strong in this deck, especially because it acts as a backup way to win the game through a whole Hound and an always bigger combo. Now for the Mulligan guide, the most important card to look for is Floppy Hydra. Then outside of this, you're going to be looking for draw power cards such as Fetch. Early ways to flood our board such as Awakening Tremors. And finally, if you know your opponent is playing a deck where it might matter, Star Power is an incredibly good card. Now, with that being said, let's look at some... Okay, let's keep one of these. Because there has to be a deck where you could easily abuse her in. I'd have to look at, like, the 9-cost minion pool. Because isn't Grom or Gromosh 9 costs? Or is he a Gromosh? He's 8. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it definitely did look a little bit different there for a second. Okay, this could be my list because both of the cards that they just played down are cards in my ogre list. Also, the short for that deck just randomly popped off today, and I don't know why. Sometimes it happens like that. I'm like, oh, that's neat. I wish I had more control over what popped off and what didn't pop off, but that is what it is. Slam this down. Tempting to use that, but we're not going to. Okay, so we really want to use this when we can use it in combination with Salve Up. It would be hilarious if But again, if they are playing that list, the fact that they're not using the Volderfist Ogre portrait makes me a little bit sad. 10-gallon hat. Oh, Buzzard. Oh, goody. So this is probably going to give us Yelling Yodeler. Yep. Don't ask me how I could predict that this was going to give me Yelling Yodeler if the other one gave me Buzzard. Just the chances, I guess. I mean, we do have the Hollowed Hounds in the deck. So there was a high likelihood it was going to be a beast, but like the fact that I did it in that order meant it. Okay, no, it isn't my list. That's interesting. Well, let's do this. Really kind of hope this... Oh, I did not remember about the 10-gallon hat. I feel like 10-gallon hat is something that I will always forget. The plus side with having 2 Hydras again in this list is, especially in this matchup, where they'll probably just destroy it with a Reno Jackson. As much as I hate to admit it, that is like the underlying flaw of the deck. And that's why we're running 2 of them. Because hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't draw into the MOF, right? Or, you don't get both of them destroyed through things like Reno or Almond. So, we're at 7. Don't really want to use that this turn. We can draw a card, see what we grab. Oh, Floppy Hydra, don't mind if I do. It is turn 7. They've already used the coin, so I'm not worried about them coining out Reno this turn. I'd assume they're just going to go face. I think what we'll do, though, is we'll use Rampage and then use both of these. Because I have a sneaking suspicion they're just going to be able to clear it next turn with the Reno. Oh, they're actually trading. Huh. Okay, well, oh. I'm still going to do the play that I said I was going to do, though. Because if we do it like this, we'll do a bunch of damage to their face. I'm really tempted to use Saddle Up. Nah, screw it. We'll do it. And then 10-gallon hat can revive. So again, we're missing larger Nomagar or bigger, whatever the hell it's called. Okay. I mean, okay, here I will say this, the smarter thing here would be to keep the majority of these alive, because then I can't place anything down. But I guess they're not going to be that smart. Okay. Hey, it's our friend Floppy Hydra. We draw a card. Yelling Yodeler, don't mind if I do. So, we can get some 2020s, or 2018s, or 2032, sorry. I can't do the math, okay? I can't do the math of, like, how big the Hydra is. I will freely admit to it. I'm expecting them to drop a giant Reno Jackson to wipe out this board at any point. But we're being extra careful. Like, I don't mind them getting rid of Yelling Yodeler, because I think we still do have in the list the other 10-gallon hat. The fact that we can do 10 or use 10-gallon hat as well as we can in this list is actually really, really cool. Because basically every time we have a 10-gallon hat on one of our Hydras, we can instantly just get the Hydra back if it's the only minion left in our deck. Oh, shit. No! Out of all the cards, you could have dragged both copies. Oh, game. Game. Why this? I needed one of them. Didn't matter which one, I just needed one of them. Well, theirs are lethal. I was like, okay, I guess that that worked. Okay, Defer Gaming Against Rogue. Let's see what they have in store for us today. Honestly, this opener doesn't look that bad. All we're really missing is a Hollowed Hound. Not Hollowed Hound. Yelling Yodeler, I should say. Which, the nice thing about 10-gallon hat is it's basically infinite draw power for the Hydra, and you can easily win through that just by itself. As long as it's a slower matchup, I guess. Also, Hollow Hound does serve as another way to win in this deck. Okay, I'm going to slam down the buzzer, draw a card next turn. Also put something on the board. We probably actually should have used Patchwork Pals, to be honest, and then charged into the 1-2. I'm kind of amazed that this is Pirate Rogue. Like, pure Pirate Rogue. Neat idea, I guess, but, like, kind of interesting to see in the wild, right? I'm curious if they're running Goldbeard also. I will freely admit, some of the decks that I've uploaded were just because I wanted to get the achievements as quickly as humanly possible. And the Pirate Rogue list that I made is a great example of that, actually. Also, we should have attacked in the other order, but it is what it is. We're kind of hoping we draw into a Yelling Yodeler first before we allow the buzzer to destroy itself. Fingers crossed, and also have enough mana for it to survive. two conditions that probably aren't going to be the easiest to fulfill, but you never know, right? Never mind. They're just going to destroy our minions. Oh, maybe not. Oh, speaking of Yelling Yodeler. And the best thing about this is, we might have actually wanted to use Awaken the Tremors here before we drew into the cards. Actually, no, we didn't. Never mind. I was like, there's a play or a world where you do that play, but like 90% of the time it's just going to be bad. The nice thing about the Yelling Yodeler and Buzzard combo in this deck is all of our draw power really only works on minions, meaning a matchup where you might think it would be bad, which is Plague DK, this deck actually can do pretty well. Though I didn't really run into Plague DK that often when playtesting this deck, which sounds weird. The deck that I ran into most was, I think, Other Spell Token Hunter decks. And that definitely felt like a annoying matchup to win, but you could still win. Like, it was still possible. It was just not something that you would want to try to win, right? Well, Rogue usually, I mean, they could be running Fan of Knives. I really hope they aren't, but okay, good. Okay. Oh, Ziliax. Well, we do have painted. Star power actually isn't a bad idea. Get rid of. Two of them got rush. Two of them got rush. Three of them got taunt. What does that look? Ugh. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter too much, right? Treasure. There has to be some type of deck that could easily. Actually, you know what? This could be the new. I know there's a new deck floating around, which is the Excavating Rogue list. I don't know how many pirates that list is actually using. I'm assuming you probably wouldn't be using this number of, just because it does feel like this is a little bit more than you probably need. There's our Hydra. We need to grab always bigger. Always bigger, like, puts us back. Well, I mean, we are in the game, but like. Oh, also, I don't think right now I have a saddle up. And I think after this game, we will probably add the card to the list and take out one of the master calls. There's other cards you could maybe take out instead, maybe like a Patchwork Pals or whatever it's called instead. But you don't always get able to do it anyways because you have the Yelling Yellers. So we just got to survive a little bit longer. Also, funny enough, if they put down a bunch of like low HP minions, we're actually in a really good position too. Oh, Buzzard, Buzzard is going to make us. This might not work how I want it to work. Oh, we don't have any more in the deck, so I guess it did work how I wanted it to work. It just buffs everything else up in the hand. That's fine. That's actually a-okay. And once the Hydra dies, then we will have the Gallon hats to draw into it. Which reminds me, I still haven't done anything with the Highlander Hunter, I don't think. I feel like there's a deck there. I just don't know how, per se, to make it work. Actually, there is a really gimmicky way that we could maybe make it work, which may or may not be a good idea. I don't think it is a good idea, so we probably won't do it, but you know. Okay, that's actually exactly the two. Well, I'd rather have the AoE buff. That kind of works. We probably also should have got rid of the other minion just in case, because leaving that up could mean a lot of damage. Okay, come on. Sonya is annoying, but come on. We have only like 6 or 7 cards left in the deck, so like we should have a high chance of always bigger. If we top deck always bigger, we win the game. Come on. It's just one card. Come on. One card. One card to rule them all. I don't understand what the point of all this is. It's not like Draka still exists in Standard. Oh, can you imagine if Draka existed in Standard with Sonya existing? Oh, that would have been bad. Okay, 23. Come on. Just need always bigger. Always bigger top deck. Hey, let's go. We're going to make them feel a little bit hollow here. All right, we'll get rid of that. We'll buff this up and say goodbye to your minions and your heart. Bye-bye. Hydra idea was something I had, I don't know how many weeks ago at this point. And oh, great. We're just going to face Hunter after Hunter, aren't we? But there's also the, like, neutral legendary from Whizbangs that I can't remember what's called right now. It's the Pandaran that summons a bunch of random minions of the same cost as a spell that you cast each turn. That seemed like a fun idea. I think Druid would be probably where you would want to use it in. I would assume, would be my assumption. Yeah, her. Grab a random minion. Thinking maybe we try to stick some other early game removal tools, because this is technically a slower deck. Could have also tried to make this into like a Highlander list, but I don't know. Because that doesn't seem like it seems decent on paper, and then you think about it. Hey, we hit all three. That's good. Just gotta survive long enough to slam down star power, right? And hopefully they don't have saddle up. That's also a bad idea for us, or bad card for us. Well, we're at 4 mana. Don't have an easy way to get rid of that, but hit once there, and then I guess hit this once. Just minimize the amount of damage that we may or may not be taking. I wonder if anyone's ever tried to use her in a deck yet. Okay, well, we're alive for a turn, I think, depending on how this hits. That's alright. It's not the best, but we're alive. That's all that matters. And we do have the Hollow Hounds, which will heal us up for a bit. Okay, maybe we're not alive. Okay, we are, but oh, that feels bad. That feels horrible. At least they can't easily get rid of that. Always a bigger would be actually be really, really good right about now. Slam down Huffer, and then I'm assuming they'll slam down the Taunt again. Like, I don't really want to slam down another one of these, but... Okay, I was like, there's no way you don't trade. I mean, yes, there is a way they don't trade, but that would have been probably a really bad idea. Okay, so this doesn't trade into that perfectly, which kind of sucks. And I don't really want to use that. Hydra. Okay, we're at 10 cards in hand. Oh, thank you, game. Thank you. I know that was a bit of a gamble there, but like, oh, that was pretty good for us at least. Yes, come on, summon a bunch of 1 HP minions, and then hopefully you don't have Canvassaur, but you probably will, I'd assume. That isn't Canvassaur, but that is annoying. And can we get always bigger? No, we cannot. Okay, so this wipes out 3, or I'm gonna risk it. All we need this to hit here first or second. That's good. That was actually a really good. That actually worked a lot better than I expected to. Okay, now it's time for our Hydra to start doing its thing. The really funny thing is, like, in theory, we could get the Hydra to have Wind Fury on it when it's really, really big. We also only have 12 cards left in deck, so that's good for us, too. Because it's a 1 in 6 for what we want. Not great. Come on, 1 in 6. That doesn't do what I need it to. Well, actually, no, it does. It kind of does. Wait, does it? This would be 6. Yes, we do have enough mana for this. I think. Okay, I can make that work. Our luck actually has been a lot better than their luck on what they're randomly getting. Get rid of that, and then we go face. I don't think this deck is running Hold Hound. I'd be amazed if it was. Again, though, 1 in 11 for what we really, really want. Oh, that's bad. Maybe. Well, it would be funny if we could get, you know, Wind Fury on this, but I guess not. That was actually a good game. Okay, now that we're through the game, so let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. So, I actually was kind of shocked about how well this deck performed. It had a 55% win rate across the 22 games that I played with the deck. When it came to matchups, the worst matchup was actually another Hunter deck, which is kind of funny to actually think about. It's just because this is a slower variant of Spell Token Hunter, but it does have ways to still win the game through Hollow Hound, even if your Hydras don't get online quick enough. Outside of this, Highlander decks were actually a really good matchup just because you have two Floppy Hydras, so as long as you don't play them both down together, then you won't lose from a single Reno Jackson being played. Though you do have the backup plan of a whole Hound into always bigger, making this deck actually extremely flexible of what you want to do. Overall, this is an easy deck for me to recommend y'all to try out because it felt actually pretty consistent at what it did. But like always, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.